Hey, listeners. For this week's podcast, we initially planned on talking about chapters 18 through 20, but due to some technical issues, we only talk about chapters 18 and 19. Tune in next week to hear more about chapter 20. I'm ready.
All right, Alyssa, we're friends, yes?
Yeah.
I have a very
Uh-oh.
important question for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
If I get into an accident and I lose my memory entirely, I have amnesia, will you
Okay.
promise to reintroduce me to all my favorite books?
Yes.
Okay.
But in what order?
Okay, so I want to be ACOTAR first, and then I want to be introduced to Crescent City, and then I want Throne of Glass. I know
Is that the
that's a hot
order?
take.
What order were you introduced to it
ACOTAR, Throne of Glass,
in?
Crescent City. If I could go back and reread it. The only reason why I say that is because Crescent City and ACOTAR overlap. I know Throne of Glass overlaps like for a split second, but not that much from like besides the Easter eggs that she kind of put in there. So like if I could go reread it for the first time over again, that's what I would do.
Okay. And then what about Quicksilver?
That would need to be after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done. I'll have to write
Yes.
it down somewhere so
Okay.
I don't
Write
forget
it
the
down
order you
and
want.
then but don't let me pick up anything like nonfiction. I don't want any of that in my
Why?
life. I don't know. Oh, and then yeah, so ACOTAR, Crescent City, Throne of Glass, Quicksilver, Blood of Hercules. I want that order specifically, and then all the Lightlark series after that.
Okay. You got it.
Just like hand them to me, like this is what you need next. This is gonna bring your memories back.
Perfect.
And
Done.
don't let anybody tell me the ending,
I won't. I won't spoil it for you.
like I did for you in the last
It's
episode.
okay. I like a good spoiler.
I'm glad that you do because I thought about that for I was like, that's
No.
if that's not mom brain, I don't know what is. Where we literally talk about
Okay.
something and then 45 seconds later, I forgot
You're
we
like,
talked about it.
yeah, that's
Before
okay.
children, it's a steel box up in here.
Not
Now,
anymore.
nothing. Nothing stays in there.
Nothing. Mm-mm.
It's
Except for
gone.
all the knowledge of these books.
Yes, that stays. I don't know. It just free flows in my brain.
It has its own corner.
It sure does. Nothing else sticks,
Yeah.
though. All the rest of my good memory went to my children.
Well, that's okay. Makes you
And
a
they'll
good
pass
mom.
it on to their children, and then eventually they'll
Exactly.
forget.
Exactly.
So, so I want to do a little bit of a side note here. If you listen to our last episode, y'all, I fucked up. I got some information wrong, and
It's okay.
it's keeping me up at night. So I'm going to be humble. I'm going to call myself out and I'm going to correct it. Not we, me alone. I said it. I take responsibility.
It's okay. It's okay. I can be there with you.
Goodish girl Dallas fucked up. So we were talking last week about Kingfisher's dad. And I like to go through like TikTok and see other people's theories and things like that. And I went for the profile, like the podcast, the Book Club After Dark. And I was watching some of their TikToks because they're also deep diving into Quicksilver. And they mentioned Kingfisher's dad might not be dead after all, because on chapter 11, page 153, Everlane quotes, she sighed. She said, "No, my mother was married to a Southern lord before she married my father. She had Fisher with her first husband. When Fisher was 10, the king sent his father on a mission to Silvarin. He never returned. That's when the gateways were stilled. The king said that for Finran, Fisher's father was responsible for the Quicksilver stilling and declared him a traitor to the Fae. The book club notes that Kingfisher's father might not be dead after all, and that he might still be in Zalvarin, stuck posing as a human, such as Carrion was, which is an incredible theory. I cannot believe I missed that. But in the last episode, I mentioned that Ruick Dianthus was Kingfisher's dad. That is incorrect. So I apologize for that misinformation. If anyone was like, "What the heck are you talking about?" If anyone caught that, call me out. I appreciate it. But that is actually Carrion Swift's dad. So it's Carrion Dianthus. So he's from the Dianthus family. Bellicon did kill Ruick Dianthus for sure. Like that is a fact. But in the book, it doesn't actually say that Finran was dead, which is Kingfisher's dad. His name is only mentioned like that one time or so. So
Mm.
I'm pretty mad I missed it and I didn't catch that.
No, it's no,
I am humbled. So
no.
thank you, Book Club After Dark, for posting that theory because I think that's really incredible and I think that would be amazing. And how cool would it be if this whole time, full circle, whoever dad is posing as, right, has been in Saeris' life for a long time?
Yeah.
What if it's Elroy?
Wow.
It's a thought. It's a theory,
That's
right?
so close. Yeah. So close to her.
Like he was in love with her mom, right? But like,
Yeah.
and then her mom died. Could be Elroy.
True.
We don't
Could be.
hear a lot of like other random guys over there, right? Like we have Hayden, we have Elroy, and then we have Carrion.
Right.
Those are really like the three that she talks about.
Yeah, you don't
And
really spend enough time there to meet any other
mhm,
characters that are important to her.
right. And we know that Hayden was taken to like a different area and he's all set up and good to go, but all we really know is like Elroy's good. Like we don't really hear anything else about him.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
That's
wonder
true.
if that would be like a full circle kind of moment, right? Like the
Yeah.
fates still aligning to bring Saeris and Kingfisher together.
Yeah.
Just a thought to add on to that.
Interesting.
I don't know. Okay.
Hopefully we'll find out
Yes, very soon.
soon.
Couple months. I can't wait.
What is it? November?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to take us to like a release party at a bookstore.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think that would be amazing. I've always wanted to go to one of those. It's like real late though, like midnight.
Yeah, I went to Harry Potter once when I was a kid.
Ooh, that would be so fun.
I went to a bunch of those.
Really? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can take me to one then since you've been to them.
Yeah, I'll take you.
You can take me.
It's only been like 20 years, but it's fine.
They're probably the same.
Yeah.
Just more feral now.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be fine. I bet you the Akatar one's gonna be wild.
Oh, for sure.
One's we'll have to book our tickets like super, super well in advance.
Yes.
Maybe we'll be a good enough podcast that they'll invite us.
Maybe.
You don't need a ticket, you just walk in.
That would be pretty exciting.
Bookstores, please invite us to your party as the
Hello,
Goodish Girls.
bookstores.
I'll bring
Any
stickers.
bookstore.
Any
We
bookstore.
can travel.
Yes, do a drive. I could fly. I like planes. I get good gas mileage on my car. It's fine.
We'll travel for books.
Yes, we'll travel for books and release parties. Thank
Yes.
you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, let's get into it. We are covering chapter 18 through 20 today.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a kind of recap of the chapters for this week. So Sarah spends time in the forge getting to work and learning what she can do with different metals. Renfis eventually finds her and attempts to convince her that Kingfisher is not all that bad and she should have dinner with him so he can get to know her better. Saeris eventually agrees, but the dinner goes differently than how she expected. Sarah sees Kingfisher in a different light, meets more creatures who she's pretty sure hate her, and finally learns what a feeder is. Once healed, she finds herself surrounded by all black bedding, furniture, and clothing with the smell of mint in the air. Realizing whose bed she's in, she panics. Kingfisher reassures her she is fine, and he will wait for her to beg him to share the same bed with her. He then proceeds to command Saeris to stay in bed until she is fully healed. After many grueling days pass for Saeris, she can finally move and get back to work in the forge.
Thinking she is going to choose not to suffer another dinner alone with Kingfisher, she invites Renfis and Carrion along. Things get very uncomfortable during the meal, and Saris finally gets her invitation or demand to travel to the war camp itself. At the war camp, Saris learns what Amentraeth and Sanisthroth are and why they are called Devil's Teeth. Her and Carrion get to attempt to practice their hand with Renfis with real swords. Saris and Kingfisher have dinner together once again, but this time attempt to make it a peaceful meal. Spoiler alert, it did not go well. Saeris finds herself in a war tent for a snack with Carrion and a front row seat to the Danya show. Just when things are getting really intense, icebreakers are called for because the dead are attempting to cross over the riverbank.
There's some wild chapters.
It is wild. It's very like kind of chill, a lot of action.
Yep. Yeah, it picks up very quickly.
Yeah.
Just like immediate things going on, which I
Hmm.
like. I do like that. I like when it's. I mean, I can handle like a slow book, right? Like a lot of building, but I do like that we start off super strong in this series.
Yeah.
Like maybe one or two
Even
chapters is kind of slow, and then it's like we're back in the action.
yeah, like even chapter 1, you start in it
Hmm. Right?
in
Yeah,
it
she's
right
running.
away, which is nice.
I agree. I totally agree. All right, so we're starting on chapter 18, Crucible. I love we start out strong in a lot of these chapters because we start with dad jokes from Kingfisher, and I am obsessed with
Yes.
them. So she's like struggling
Yes.
in the forge, right? And she mentions she's like, "Well, I'm really struggling," and I asked him for help, but he said, "Use my initiative," whatever that means. Can you just
I
imagine
can't.
him being like, "Use your initiative, babe. You got it,"
Yeah,
and then
you
just
got
leave?
it.
I can't. It kills me.
He's he's all about the like, here's a zinger and now I gotta go.
Yes.
Like I'll see you in a little bit. I'm gonna leave you with that.
And you know what I can imagine is like he's like all super tough, right? And he's like, just use your initiative. I can see him walking out the door and smirking to himself and being
Oh
like,
yeah,
crushed it.
for sure.
Or like giggle to himself a little bit and then walk away.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can see him in real life. I can see that happening.
In the Netflix show, I can see it. Like the camera turns to him walking out and you can see her like over his shoulder.
Yeah. And
It's
she's
like,
like
what the
super
fuck?
mad. And he's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, whoever is directing this, I don't remember who that is. Will you put that in there, please? It's on my
Well,
long list of requests.
yeah, we'll send an email.
Yeah. I need horse valet parking and I
Yes.
need Kingfisher to do like a little
Smirking to
victory
himself.
eyebrow raise as he says something stupid. Those are my requests. Thank you. Officially submitted.
I love it.
So Saris mentions that Kingfisher had books and books made by alchemists before they all die, but it's in a different language, so she can't understand it because she's in the forest, she's trying to learn about things, she's trying to learn what to do. I I don't have an answer. I feel like this is some sort of Easter egg. Maybe it's a red herring. Maybe it means nothing. I don't know. But I just feel like she's like, I have all this knowledge. I can't read it, but
Mhm.
like here it is. Right. And then we just move on from it. So I didn't know
Mhm.
when you were reading the book, now that you've officially finished it, if you had any thoughts on why that was mentioned or if you think it means something.
I remember you mentioning this, and when I got to it, I was like, "Oh, okay, there it is." I just don't know what it would be an Easter egg for.
Like
Like,
maybe she eventually will meet somebody in the second book that can read now that the portals are
mhm.
opened. Maybe she will eventually be able to like go through them. But I also don't know if
Oh my God,
she
my dog
can
is
leave.
dreaming.
What is it?
My dog is dreaming. He's crying in his
Oh,
dream.
Marvel,
It's like,
no.
what is happening?
He's
Um,
struggling.
I can't. I also like what else is there for alchemists after or besides Quicksilver? Like Quicksilver isn't their entire life as an alchemist. So like is there more?
Yeah. I mean, isn't it their kind of their whole life, right? The alchemists, like they researched it, they wrote books on it, they traveled to
Right.
different places, sometimes not so great, sometimes they were okay. But it's not going to be Saris's whole life, right? Like she is an alchemist, yes, but at the end of the book, like she's something entirely different now. She's like a queen of that whole area.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I guess I also feel like, let's say Alchemist's whole life is Quicksilver. How are there all of these books on it? Like what information do these books have other than writing, how to activate it, how to go to different places?
My thought would be like how to bind it to different things. Probably old research before they knew what to do. what to do with the Quicksilver. Like, she's trying to figure out, she's like, hey, I put hair in it, I put this spice in it, and it did
Right.
this. So maybe trials of things that
Yeah.
they have tried in the past. And
Yeah.
then in my opinion, like, all of the Quicksilver is a little bit different, right? Like,
Oh,
each
for
time
sure.
she
They
interacts
all
with
want
it,
di Yeah, they all want different things.
they all want different things. They all sound like, they sound a little bit different. They act a little bit different. So probably
Mhm.
all the different personalities throughout the time that all the alchemists were studying the Quicksilver, like, oh, met this Quicksilver, I wanted this, wanted this. Here's the bargain I made with it. Here's what I did for it. Here's the song that I sang for it. So maybe just like different things. That's
Mhm.
what if I was an alchemist, that's what I would write down. Talk
Did
to
we
this
have
Quicksilver
names?
today. Very
I
needy.
would yeah, I would have named them all.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Looks like a
Bob.
Simon.
Bob wanted a joke.
Bob. He wanted a joke and now he has it. And now no one else will know that joke but Bob and me.
That's right. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so yeah, I think it's an Easter egg. I don't know what it is. If you guys have thoughts, drop them in the comments. Let me know what you think. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm overthinking that part.
I
We do
don't
know that
know.
Saeris can feel the difference in metals, not just Quicksilver, which I know like Cass and I had talked about back in the day. Like, is it just one metal? Like, what's happening, right? So she is in the forge and she can feel it. And so she pulls out all the Evelian silver from the scrap metal to use. She
Right.
does note that this used to scare her really bad when she was younger, so she trained herself not to listen to the metals, right? Because they were constantly talking to her, and she was like, "What is happening?" And honestly, I give her credit for this because can you imagine in the Zavarin, this girl's like, the voices, the metals, they're talking to me. They would have thrown her
No.
ass in the psych ward so
Oh, for
fast.
sure.
So good
I
on you,
think about
Saris.
I think about the very beginning when she like takes the gauntlet
Mm-hmm.
and then like shakes it. She's like, "Stop.
Yeah,
Stop
stop
talking."
talking to me. She's like climbing this wall, shaking and
I'm like,
screaming
"Yeah."
at this piece of metal.
And like how crazy. Like and
Mm-hmm.
to like grow up like that and not know she's like, "Oh, not now. Like this isn't the time." And shakes it.
Right.
And just to not know what's going on, that's crazy.
Poor kid. At least she figured
Also,
it out eventually.
was the metal like, "Stop shaking me.
Probably. Or it was
Stop."
like stuttering. It's like, "Meh." As you're shaking it. I want to hear
Yeah.
that. I want to see how they do that in the movie, in the show.
Yeah, that's a good point because it's not like it's, like, animated. Doesn't, like, have a face.
Right. It'll probably just be where you're looking at the object and it's like you hear like the back, like,
Hear it.
here, here, I'm here. Right. Like, and you'll hear it like a echo.
That was great.
I would also like to audition to be the Quicksilver.
Voice actor.
Yes, I would like to voice act for Quicksilver. Here's my audition. Here, I'm here. See, I did
That
a great job.
that was pretty good.
Hire me.
I'm impressed. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have any headshots, so this podcast is gonna have to be what you need. But they won't see my face
Okay.
anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I was gonna say, do you need a headshot for voice acting?
You know, I have no idea. That's a great
I think
question.
I think you just submit a demo tape.
Okay, well, somebody send this to them. If you know, if you know a person who's involved in this.
I
I
got
want to
you.
be said. I want to be said Quicksilver.
I'll make you a reel and send it in.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And when
no
I become
problem.
famous, you'll come with me.
Okay.
You can just hang out and we'll live the high life.
Yeah, I'll just chill.
Let's
That's
hang
fine.
out. So as she's in the forge, she's trying to mix the silver with other elements, but there's no quicksilver given to her. So she goes in there and she's like, "Where did Kingfisher put all this quicksilver? Like, where is it?" Right? She's like, "Well, can't work without it." And then she's listening and she hears that small voice, like, I'm here, right? I'm over here." So she's trying to figure it out and she finds this little box and it has like the tiniest little amount of quicksilver in it. So she does find it. At first, when she mentioned that he hid it from her, I was like, "Bro, I love you, but why do you gotta make her life
Do
so hard?"
do you want her to make these relics or not?
Yeah, that's what she was thinking too, and I was like, "Yes, girl." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I validated Saris in that moment. I was like, "Yes, that
Yes.
is so mean." But then later on when you figure out, like, why he's hiding it from her to see, like, how easy she can find it, so that way she
Right.
can find my thought in my mind, he wanted her to find, like, the coin. right? The very,
Right.
very, very end. And she was able to because she was able to detect that Quicksilver in it. So I think
Mhm.
he was like, I wonder like how small of a piece it could be or how far away it could be
It's also
before.
just interesting to me, what is the Quicksilver's point of view in this? Like, is it always calling out or is it like, "Oh, she's right there. I need to say something."
I think it can feel her.
Yeah,
I think there's a
I do
full
too, but
connection.
yeah, it's just interesting to me. Like, it's not I don't believe it's always like, "Hello, hello," like,
No, gosh, all the
eternally.
time. Mhm.
Right.
No, I think it's quiet
But
or
it's
maybe
just
talking to its I don't know, maybe it talks to itself. I think it's very lonely, so I think maybe it talks to itself, but I think when she enters the room, just like when your favorite person enters the room, you're like,
right.
"There's someone here that I
Oh,
know.
there they are.
I can feel
Yeah.
it. Oh, I can hear them or I can see them." Right? Or they
Mhm.
like or maybe they hear all things. Maybe they're like they hear a door open and like, "Is that her? Hello?" And then she's like,
Right.
"Hello?" And she's like
Yeah.
the Quicksilver's like, "Oh my gosh, it hears me. Hello, I'm over here. Hi, I'm here."
I do like I do like how they all have their own personalities too.
Mhm.
Like, they all are interested in different things, like, some of them are, like, funny, some of
Mhm.
them are, like, just I don't wanna say annoying, but, like
Kind of obnoxious.
yeah, obnoxious
Mhm.
is a good
And some of
word.
them are mean, which is why I think that
Yes.
the Quicksilver in Kingfisher's eye, I think it's very mean. I think it's very selfish, which kinda it again, our previous episode before, like, why didn't he get more silver in his body when he went through with the relics? Obviously, he had, like, Telena, so he was able to kinda heal himself, but and it still affected him, but I think that Quicksilver is very stubborn because again, when Saeris talks to it eventually and it's like, "Hey, like, you wanna
Mhm.
come out of there? Like, can I give you anything?" It's like, "No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye." So, it's like,
Also,
we are one.
w would he be different if the Quicksilver that had gotten into him was funny Quicksilver? Or, like,
Right.
less stubborn or less mean Quicksilver, you know?
Mhm. Part of
It's
me wonders if
interesting.
it was less mean originally, right? So, he had a lot more in his
Mhm.
body and the healers had to take it out, and that was the one chunk that they couldn't get out. So, maybe it was mean all along, right? Or maybe it was stubborn all along, or maybe it wasn't that way, but because it was not able to be removed, maybe it became bitter.
Well, and part of it was removed,
Yeah, that's true, but just not all
you
of it.
know? Right.
I would like a
Yeah.
backstory on the Quicksilver and how it's feeling. I need to know.
I need a
Quicksilver, how are
Quicksilver
you doing today?
POV.
Checking in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
I it's very interesting. Very lonely. Saris goes back into the house. She runs into Ren. Ren kind of explains a little bit more about Kingfisher and that with a Quicksilver in his eye, like he's a different person. He wasn't always this way. It's made him more black and white, so he has a hard time seeing the gray areas, which is why right now he views Saris as more of a tool and not a person. And sometimes he can push tools to be broken, and she is not a tool that they can afford to break, right? So Ren is like, hey, let like have dinner, right? Like hang out together, he's going to get to know you a little bit and then maybe he can see you more as a person and then hopefully he'll be nicer to you, hopefully.
Yeah,
That's Ren's goal anyways.
yeah.
uh he's also during this time he's literally covered in blood at this point, right? And
I
he's so
also
nonchalant about it. She's like,
yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry. I guess I should change."
yeah, but then it in this little, oh sorry, guess I didn't notice, sorry. Oh sweet Ren, best man. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, my bad." He's like, "We'd killed about 30 of them. Like, no big deal, right?" But that is his life every day though, right? That's
Yeah,
literally what he does. Is he goes into the work camp and he kills the things and then he comes back and protects the area. So it's just a Tuesday for him.
right. For him, it is nonchalant.
Right.
Yeah.
And I found it
Uh,
interesting that she was sensitive to this considering all of the things that she has been through.
okay, I also thought that. Like, it's, like, very apparent. She was like, "Oh my god, he's covered in blood. It's not his blood."
Mhm.
I feel like it's, like, a paragraph that she's, like you said, affected by it. But like you said, she's seen so much in her life.
Right.
And we learn more and more about that throughout the book, but
Do you think she thought it was Fisher's at first and was like, "Whose blood is that? What's
mm,
happening? What's going on?"
maybe,
Or
maybe.
maybe she was like, maybe it was Carrion's, or you know what I mean? Maybe she like went because she's been through so much. Maybe like she had a moment to relax, and now she's like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening?"
Yeah, that's a good point.
That'd be my
Maybe.
guess.
Yeah.
I do want to say he like Ren knows Kingfisher so well. He's known him for a really, really long time. He uses the oath against him to make like he's like, you have to make it up to me. Like this is ridiculous. You made an oath. This is wild. Like I can't believe you did this. You need to get to know her now. This is how you're gonna make it up to me. And I'm sure Kingfisher's like, sure, fine. But Ren truly is a great friend. Like throughout this entire book, this man has been with him forever. He's always been by his side. I mean, he's always looking out for him. And I love him. And if he dies in Brimstone, I will riot. I don't know what I'll do. I will be really upset.
I think it would be just so difficult for Kingfisher to lose.
Mhm.
That that is I feel like Rennis is his rock. Like
Yep.
he is his constant. He is his like stable thing to hold on to in his life.
I agree. No, I completely agree. But Kelly R has mentioned in interviews about book 2, she's like to get ready because like they're not all coming out the other side of that book.
Yeah.
We will lose somebody. I don't know who it's going to be.
Well,
I
maybe it'll be
wouldn't think who do you think it's going to be?
it could be Hayden.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. So I don't
I
think
mean,
it's going to
I don't
I don't
actually
know.
think it's gonna be, but like of the characters we've met, eh,
Mhm. I think it's going to be
take
no, I think
Hayden.
it's going to be someone that's going to break our hearts. I think it's going to gut us.
I know.
I don't think it'll be Everlane because she was already in danger once, right? Like that story's been told. I guess she could be in
That's
danger
true.
again.
That's true.
Could be Lorith, right? But if it's Lorith, I mean, Kingfisher would get part of his soul back, so that's nice. Not that I want
Right.
Lorith to go. I really like him as well. Maybe we'll get
Yeah,
a Danya arc, and then we'll love Danya, and then we'll lose Danya.
maybe.
That's my guess. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be Ren. It can't be Ren. I won't allow it.
Yeah, that would be
I'm not
tough.
writing this book in any way, but
That would be really tough.
mm-hmm. But I can see it
I
happening.
also think that Ren is even more endearing because of the voice acting. I think I said this
Mm-hmm.
in the last podcast. Um, I don't know. Like the accent, everything, it just like ties it all together with a bow.
It does. No, I think it's perfect. A perfect choice that Kelly gave him an accent because the author like chooses that. I
Right.
obviously again think Anthony did a great job, but I could not imagine Ren's voice in any other way now. Now that I know what it is.
And now, like reading, even if I'm reading a quote from the book or a section of the book, you can hear
Hmm.
it in your head.
Yep, you sure can.
Yeah, I love that.
Such a good
Um,
audio.
the dinner is what a trope. It's such a
The
trope.
dinner.
It's like the Beauty and the Beast dinner.
Yes. Yes, they're at the
I feel
table
like it's
together. He's
yeah.
being mean.
hmm
She's like, WTF is
It's like a
happening.
big table. They're sitting on opposite ends.
Hmm. It's a
Mhm.
league long. She almost a league long as she's like dramatizing
Mhm.
it, and we still don't know exactly what a league is. My guess is still 3 to 4 miles until someone clarifies for me. But
Oh, that's right. I forgot that we never got an answer to that.
we never got an answer, which is why I researched it online because I was like, what is said league? What does that mean?
Yeah,
Roughly 3 to 4 miles, maybe.
it's so funny. A league long. Hello down there.
Hello, can you hear me? We just send a paper airplane across the way. Pour the
Yeah.
wine.
Yes.
So as she right before she gets ready, I do want to call it another Easter egg moment. So there's a black dress lying on her bed. She finds it after she takes a bath, but not before, and she chooses the pants instead
I don't get this Easter egg. What am
because
I
they're in the
missing?
bonus chapters.
Oh,
I know. I
I
knew.
knew
I
you
was
were
like,
gonna
I'm gonna
say
write it
that.
in there, and We can do the bonus chapters. In the bonus chapters, if you haven't read them, there is an area where from Kingfisher's point of view, this exact moment of when the dress appears in her room, and there is a history of the dresses and where they came from. It's very
Okay.
special.
Okay.
I heart bonus chapters.
I
They're the
know you
best.
do. I know. I'll have to read them. Maybe I'll
So yes,
get
this
to
is a
them this week.
huge Easter egg. And then also at dinner, Archer takes note of her pants. And Sherry says, like, oh my gosh, he disapproves of the pants, like of it, because
Yes.
I'm like at this fancy dinner. But I don't think that's why it was. I think from said bonus chapters, I think that Archer also knows the history of those dresses and the fact that she had it on her bed and she chose not to wear it. And I think he was like, the fuck? Why would you not
Poor
wear
Archie.
that?
He's having his little mind blown.
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand. Like, you were gifted this and now you're not wearing it. What does that mean?
And you think that all of these Easter eggs were proactive Easter eggs? Like, or do you think they're reactive Easter eggs? Like, do you think Callie Hart wrote the book and then after the fact was like, oh, I can actually imagine the moment that this dress appeared or whatever? Or do you think it was reactive in that she like imagined this after the fact?
That is a wonderful question. I don't
I
know. I would
I
like to
think about
think.
those things all the time because like I think about like Akatar, right? Like
Mhm.
so many moments in that book play such an important significance later in the series,
Right.
but they probably weren't originally written that way, or were they?
I think a little bit of both, right? So obviously this is the first book of this series, so it's hard to see like how tied in together it's going to be, right? Like we have quite
Mm,
a few Akatar books. We have all of the Throne of Glass. So like we know how she brings it back around. But
right.
also like interviews from Sarah J. Maas that she has done before, she's like, sometimes I'm writing things and I have a plan and then I change it like last minute. So I
Right.
feel like she does things out pretty far. But I think sometimes it just doesn't go the way. She's like, well, I don't like the way that it's written over here. So maybe Kelly is the same. Maybe she does plan it out partially, or maybe she's like writing out a part of it and she's like, oh, actually, this sounds good. Or right. Or maybe she was like, I don't, and I would like to know if the bonus chapters were written before or after or during,
Or during, right.
right? Was there
And there's
originally like
different
Kingfisher point of view in between these chapters and they were just removed and set
mhm,
off to the side?
right. There's also like different types of writers. There are some writers that literally have their storyboard before they start writing a book,
Hmm.
and there are other writers that literally fly by the seat of their pants as they're writing,
Right.
and the plot kind of just develops on its own.
Kelly Hart, can we see your whiteboard? I'm not going to ask for book 2 because that would be rude. And I know you won't show us. For book 1 that is already published, can I see your whiteboard?
Yeah.
Thank you. I need to know. What kind of writer are you? That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah. It's just interesting to me.
So when they're at this dinner table, he shows her another little piece of magic that he has, right? Like voice
Mhm.
casting.
Mhm.
So which is really funny because he's like the air runs through, like it's literally in the air. The magic is through the air. And it puts this girl on edge. She's like, "What the fuck is happening?" He's he's a legal way, right? He's like 30 feet away, but he sounds like he's right there
Yes.
next to her face. And
Yes.
I don't blame her for being on edge because I think I would also do that. I would be like, "Oh my god, what's happening?"
I don't know if I would like that. Like, is it like a it would it be like a bug in your ear? Like, "Ugh, get out of my ear." I
Do you
guess
want to know
not.
something stupid that I thought of when I was like writing this? I was like, I
Yes.
imagine that song where it's like, "Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear."
Oh my gosh.
That's what
Yes.
I thought. I don't know if anyone else thought of that or gets the reference, but
I love it. Um,
for a split second, I was like, I remember that song.
yeah. I I guess we already know how much she's like attracted to him, so it wouldn't
Hmm.
be like a bug in your ear.
Probably not. If it was someone that she didn't like or like someone she didn't know, I think it would be annoying. She'd be like, stop it. But
Yeah.
I think that she was like, something she's like, "I got goosebumps, like, something's happening to my body."
Yeah.
And he knows it too, right? And it's not just, like, him, like, regular talking. He's obviously using his, like, broody
It's a,
voice.
it's intentional. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. He knows.
Yes. Yes.
He knows. So he's asking her, he's like, "How are things going?" And she's like, "Not well, bro,
Right.
obviously." And
Hmm.
she's like, "I bet you, like, aren't shocked." And he's like, "I'm not." Like, I knew. Of course he did. And so
Yes.
they're talking about the silver, and she is telling him, she's like, "I need more silver. Like, there's not enough." And she's like, "I need more material." And he's like, "Well, we don't have it." And she's like, "Well, there's a ton of gold around here. Like, everything you own isn't like, look at all this material around here, the cutlery, the walls, all this is gold." And he's like, "Well, we have plenty of gold. That's
Hmm.
fine. We just don't have the silver that you need." In this moment, I thought it was really such a fun take to try and just use silver, because usually in the real world, I guess, and also in like fantasy world, I feel like gold is so important, right? It's such a
Hmm.
rarity. And I like that he was like, gold means nothing here. We have an
Yeah.
abundance of it. It's irrelevant, right? The silver is what we need.
I do think
So I
that
thought that
is
was kind of
really
cool.
interesting. Yeah, for sure. Um, and you think about like it often references like all the different types of metal, and to think that gold is
Hmm.
just like meh, like whatever.
Yeah, it's just like down there on the list.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about.
I thought that
But I
was
agree.
really a cool way to do it.
It is, and I like the fact that it makes like the silver that much more important. It's not like they're the
Hmm.
same, right? Like it's not like they're on the same level. Like they're literally just like whatever. We have too much of that anyway. Like,
Right. And it's interesting, there's different types of silvers, right? And then because she has to pull out the Sylvarin or the Velian silver,
mhm,
like when she's like feeling through it, like feeling the different types of metals that she has. So I thought that was really
mhm.
interesting. And so he's like, "Well, can you reuse it? Like, can you like reuse the metal and like refine it in between uses?" And she was like, "Yeah, but it'll take me an extra day to do all of that." And I don't know if anyone else knew what that meant or how to refine silver. I sure didn't. I was reading, I was like, I don't know what that means. So I looked it up because I didn't know if you knew that. That I was like, I don't know if they're gonna know what this means either.
No,
So
but I'm ready to learn.
I did look it up. Okay, so this is my super uneducated, looked on the internet answer. Okay,
Okay.
so in ancient times, silver refining primarily relied on the cupellation process, where lead silver ores were heated, oxidizing the lead into a slag that could be separated from the molten silver. So there's smelting and then an impure alloy. So the ores were smelted to obtain a lead silver alloy, which was still impure. Then they had to use it in the cupellation process. So that was like the first part, and then the second part. So basically, she like has to take it, she has to melt it all down, and then she has to like scoop it and then put it into a thing and then like let it harden up again. So I can see why it would take her a whole extra day to do this process. And again,
Right.
I can answer none more questions about what any of that means. I should have watched like some
And
videos on. I just read about it.
and she said she can do 3 trials a day. So I'm
Hmm.
just imagining like doing 3 trials, getting no success, and also having to then reverse the process
Yep.
essentially.
And not only that, doing the 3 trials, getting no success, and literally being mocked every time by the Quicksilver.
Yeah, it's like, "You idiot. All right, rewind, pull it
Yep. Here
back,
we go
start it over."
again. See you
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I
Oh
can't.
my gosh. If I was a Quicksilver, I'd be so sassy.
I would lose my mind if I was an alchemist.
Oh,
There's
definitely.
it's not for me.
You,
It's not my nature.
you would. I would be one of those people that if it's being mean, I would just be like, "Now you get to sit outside.
Yeah, now you can sit in the snow.
I'll be back in a little bit. Goodbye." And he'd be like, "Wait, wait, I'm sorry. Hello."
Does it get cold?
Uh, maybe. I don't know. Good
Mm,
question.
I feel like it probably doesn't get cold.
I need a bonus chapter on the Quicksilver.
Quicksilver POV.
Yes, Quicksilver POV requested. Please let me know if it gets. I want to. Gets it cold? Does he get mad? Does it have
Right.
friends? If it's next to other
Yeah.
Quicksilver, is it happier?
Interesting.
Maybe she already has one written.
Maybe.
I hope so.
We'll find out.
So
Hopefully.
when they're at dinner, this poor girl, she just wants to relax, right? So Kingfisher's drinking his wine, and she's like, I want some wine too, bro. And he's like, well, come pour it yourself then.
Mhm.
So she has to like get up and go all the way over there. And so she's like, if I'm going to walk all the way down there to pour myself a glass of wine, knowing he probably didn't pour his own glass, someone else poured it for him, right? She's like, I'm just going to eat down there. I'm not doing this. I'm going to take my plate and my fork and I'm going to go down there. And you know what, girl? Same. You don't need
Yeah.
to sit at the other end of the table.
Oh, no.
You deserve a
If
seat at the front.
if I if my presence was requested at this dinner, I'm being part of the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
not
with this
gonna be
big
sitting
old plant
there
in front
by
of me. I can't
myself.
see anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So she takes her plate and she has herself a nice seat on the right-hand side of Fisher, which is so special because
So special.
it's such a special spot. But when you're first reading this, you have no idea
No.
what happens. And I want to know. We know what Kingfisher like looked like in this moment, right? But can you imagine what he was feeling? He was probably like, "Yeah, I knew she would sit. I knew it. Knew she would sit there." Because like it again, it's such an important spot. It's like I would say probably one of the most important spots in the book.
How many chairs are at this table?
I don't think it tells us how many. I'm assuming quite a few if it's a 30-foot long table, right? I mean,
Right.
it's enough to like it's in a castle, so it's enough to feed
Right.
like a
Oh,
feast of people.
yeah.
So it's very interesting, right? So she just like
Mhm.
pours herself a glass of wine. Get it, girl. You deserve
I
it.
just and does he have no reaction to this? Like, it doesn't I don't remember it saying that he had any reaction to it, but is I'm
I
just
think it said that
imagining
he like kind
him.
of smirked at it. He was like,
Right.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
Right? Like he didn't say anything. He didn't make a bad
Mhm.
face.
Right.
Unlike Ren and Archer. Everyone
He
else
also
panicked.
had to have known that Archer would have the reaction that he then has. You would think.
Yeah, I mean, did he think that far into it, right? Or was he just like in the moment in his head being like, yeah, like that's like
Right.
knowing the future, like thinking about what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah,
I don't know if he
maybe.
thought that far. I think when Archer's reaction did happen, I think he was like, "Ha, that's hilarious." Right?
Yeah.
Because he grew up with him, so he like Archer can see him at like he can see Archer at his worst and still laugh at him a
Right.
little bit.
Right.
So, and then during this time, she notices that he's wearing green for the first time because usually he's in all black. And I was like, of course you did notice. Of course he's wearing green. She's so thirsty,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah. Uh,
he could wear a trash bag,
Also,
and I'm okay with it.
for sure.
I would
Yeah.
notice that. I'd be like, oh my gosh, he's wearing a trash bag. Look at him.
Oh my God, he's wearing a
Oh my
trash bag.
gosh.
It's like pleather. Um, do you think the green is there just to show us that she's paying attention to everything about him at this point? Or do you think it's to add more dimension to his character so he's not just like the dude that's always in black?
I think
Or do
both.
you think something else? Yeah, like I don't.
I think both. I think it's to show us that she's unintentionally paying attention to him, right? Like the
Mhm,
signs that they, like our mates, are is there the whole time. It's just hard to
mhm,
see it, right? But I think it also shows we're trying to see a softer side of Kingfisher. I think she's trying to show us a softer side of him, right? So he's not always in black. Tonight at dinner, he's in green. He laid out a dress for her, right? She didn't wear it, but he tried, right? He was like, I'm gonna go to this dinner. I'm gonna wear the green shirt. Like this is a nice
mhm.
shirt that I have worn. He's probably worn it before, right? To like other nice events where he doesn't always have to be like this super strong, broody, angry guy. I think it was both, if I had to guess.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
And then she also asked, she's like, hey, like, okay, fine, we have all this gold, but can we just get more silver? And he says,
Mhm.
no, because Bellicon like is has all this silver. And she's like, well, he should be able to give it to you. And spoiler alert, he doesn't. There's a law put into
Right.
place that all the silver that's been found must be delivered to the crown. This, in this moment, should have been a huge sign to us that Bellicon was up to something more than just hating Kingfisher. Because not only does he
Oh
hate
yeah.
Kingfisher, but Kingfisher was gone for well over 100 years. Like, if Bellicon
Yes.
really wanted to stop the war, he would have made a lot of changes while Kingfisher was gone, right? And he did not. He chose not to do that. So I thought that was really interesting that we didn't. Did you like? I guess did you catch that in the beginning? Because
See,
I didn't.
I
I did
don't
not catch that.
no, it did not stand out to me. It was more of like a, oh, okay, like that's just like that's the way it is here, you know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, gold is not important, silver is. That's the way it is.
Right.
Um,
Silver goes to the crown.
right.
That's just the
But
rule.
now like re-diving into it, like you said, what a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't think it's like meant I don't think that's it's meant to be a red flag in the way that like I shouldn't look back on it and be like, oh, how did I miss that? But it is a red flag where you can look back on it and be like, oh, like the the pieces of the puzzle are already being laid out here for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. No, and I agree. And I'm glad that you. I'm glad that you didn't see it because I was worried it was going to be like me and Tamlin all over again.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's a red flag? What does that mean?
No, no,
Look at
no,
this.
no.
Look at this nice man. He
No,
not
I
a nice
think
man.
now had they not first talked about gold and how it wasn't
Mhm.
important, it maybe would have stood out more. Like maybe that helps throw
Right.
you kind of off the path a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it didn't. I wasn't like, oh, there's trouble afoot here,
There's
you
trouble
know?
afoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. There's a lot of red flags about him that I didn't catch the first time either.
Mhm.
So they're having a moment, right? She sits in the right. He's got a green shirt on. She's noticing all the things, and then a moment happens, right? The fire sprites come in with food, and they see her sitting next to him at the end of the table, and they freak out. They are going wild, right? Archer is so embarrassed. He literally is on the ground out in the fetal position. And this poor little fire sprite. Two things. First off, can you imagine the only person sitting in that chair for however many thousands of years was the queen? And all of a sudden, there's this girl there in the seat,
No less this girl in pants.
in pants, not even in the dress that he gave her, in
Yeah.
pants.
Yep. A human
Mm-hmm.
just chilling, casually pouring herself a glass of
Of
wine.
a full glass of wine. And they're like, "Ah!" screaming,
I can't.
screaming, crying.
And also like I also think about all of these little sprites like life for them must be really up and down.
Yeah,
Like
it's probably difficult for
anything
them.
happen yeah, anything happens in their life and they're in the fetal position. Obviously, this is a really big thing, but like drop a plate, fetal position. You know, like I just think of them
Mhm.
like constantly like going up in flames, essentially,
Yeah.
which
I
I think is how you're supposed to, but
right. I think that's maybe why I relate with them. Like, there was a point in my life where my anxiety was so bad that if I dropped a plate, I'd probably be crying. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah.
I'm like, I get it, guys. I get it.
Hmm.
We need to learn some coping mechanisms. Focus on 10 objects. What are things that you see? What are things that you hear?
I need
Deep
some
breath in for
grounding
10.
techniques.
Right, I can help you guys. But like, yeah, they're panicking. And then this was also a moment that I don't know if anyone noticed or if I'm thinking too much into it. I noticed that Archer was embarrassed. Was he embarrassed because she was in this seat and he was like, no, that's where the queen goes? Or was he embarrassed because he didn't realize what she was to Kingfisher? Like, should he have known that all along and set her plate there in the
Mhm.
beginning? Like, why was he
Oh,
embarrassed? He
that's a good
wasn't
question.
angry, right? He wasn't like, oh, no, you don't belong there, right?
Right. Well, and then later it mentions like she's like, "Oh, he hates me." And and they're like, No, he doesn't hate you. Like, that's not what's going
Mhm.
on here." I think
Right.
it's like "Oh, I didn't realize." Like, I thought this was just like this human girl that you were toting along on your adventure.
Mhm. Right, like, he didn't realize she was so
Husband.
important,
Yes.
and he was, like, ashamed and embarrassed of that.
Yeah.
I also wanna be in the fetal position when I'm embarrassed, Archer, so don't worry. You're not alone,
Same.
buddy.
Same.
It's fine. So they finally make it through this dinner, and he's like, "Well, this is where you'll be eating from now on." And she's like, "No, I'm actually gonna eat in the forge." And he's like, "Well, if you wanna die, that's because 'cause you'll get poisoned." She's like, "Well, in my room then." And she's, like, arguing with him, right, as she does, and he's like,
Mhm.
"You will eat here with me." And again, as I always do every 2 minutes, note to the bonus chapters of why it's so important that she eats. Kingfisher is very adamant that she's going to eat every day, and I love that because again, it does
I'll
show a
get there.
softer side of him of why he wants her to make sure that she has a full belly.
I'll be on that level soon.
You finished the book. You deserve the bonus chapters. I think you should read
I
them.
do. I will.
You should read them. You don't have to, they're some of them are kind of long, but I think once you get into it, you're gonna be like,
Okay.
it's so many things are gonna be answered too that you didn't even know you had a question for.
Yeah. I love
They're my
a
favorite
different
part.
point of view too. Like I
Mhm.
love that in a book.
Same.
So, I'm
Agreed.
excited. Mhm.
I want a book where it's the entire book is from the MMC's point of view about the FMC.
Have you seen the fan fiction that gosh, I can't think of what it's called. Um, it's Rhysand's point of view
Yeah, it's purple, right?
for I think so.
You can, like,
Yeah.
actually get it on a print and like, on print, but
Yes.
it's not, like, licensed or anything, like,
No. No,
it's
no,
written by
no.
somebody else.
Mhm.
I haven't read it yet, but I would like to get, like, my hands on a copy of it.
Yeah, I've always been curious about that
Mhm.
because like you said, like I love the different point of view. And then even to look back at like when the FMC is like, "Ugh, like I can't believe he's doing this, whatever it is," to then like read the other point of view where the MMC is like, "No, like I know exactly what I'm doing."
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am reading Child of the Sun Queen right now, and that there's a part of that where it's like her view, and then all of a sudden it's his view, and I'm like, "Ah, I see. Here's what he's thinking. Here's what he was doing." So I do like
Yeah.
when it's both.
Yeah.
I would like more Kingfisher point of views in Brimstone. I don't know if that's what she has planned or if she's gonna drop more bonus chapters, like, afterwards, but I would like to see more of his thoughts and, like,
Yeah.
read more of his thoughts. I would also be cautious to read the Rhysand point of view because it's not written by Sarah. Not because I don't think it's gonna be
Mhm.
good, I think it'll be great, right? But I am worried that I would get my information crossed and I would then see and think things that aren't actually part of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something you have to read with a like grain of salt and
Mhm.
separate it if you need to separate it or let it be your own canon if you want it to be your own,
Yeah. Maybe I'll read it
you know.
after the ACOTAR series is fully finished,
Yeah.
and that way I know all the answers, and I'll be like and then I can read it. Like, "Ah, okay, this is I see what's happening." It's very possible.
Um, yeah.
So Saeris is asking if Carrion can go home. She's like, "Hey, he has a family, he needs to he needs to go home, he's got a family." And Kingfisher's like, "Well, I thought he was your type, but I guess I was wrong." And she's like, "What do you mean my type? What?" And she's like, when, like, he went to go get him, right, he, like, smelled him all like, her all over him, and she's like, "You were supposed to get hated, right? Because you were, like, using my blood." And she's like, "Your scent was, like, all over like, your scent was all over him." Right? So he talks about knowing her scent, he talks about finding it everywhere, which honestly is one of the most iconic quotes in the book,
Yeah.
and I love
And
it, right?
she's
Because
m and she's
he's, like, right in the middle of
mortified.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh my god, like, you can smell all of that?"
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, I can smell it anywhere," right? And then, like, all of a sudden there's, like, a huge boom, like, feeders come in and they break through the wall, and they're fighting them, and everyone's getting knocked down, right? And Kingfisher's, like, all smoke and shadows and fighting, doing all this stuff, and he, like, kills everybody, right? She gets knocked down, and then it's all finally over, right? And he gets down to her and he's like, "Hey, like they scratched you." Thankfully, it didn't bite her because that would have been a lot different, but it does scratch her. So she does technically have poison in her system, and her eyes
Mhm.
go like her eyes go dark, his eyes go wide. He's freaking out, and he's like, "Can somebody fucking help me?" Which I think is also a super iconic moment, and
Yes.
I love that we got to hear that on the audio as well. I think it gave it a lot more dimension, like hearing it.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
And so this is where we find out like what a feeder is, right? Like we have kind of heard about them a little bit, but we haven't really seen them. And we know
Mhm.
that they can be any age, so they can be babies, they can be children, like old people, right? Um, Again, she was clawed but not bitten. If she would have been bitten, it would have been a big deal. She saw stars. She like blacked out. She's gone. And then
Right.
this part got me. Even though she literally is poisoned right now, she's actively dying. She's like
Yeah.
looking up at him and she's like, "God damn, he looks good. Somebody get this girl a fucking glass of water. She is thirsty.
She's been thirsty her whole life.
Her whole life,
And then
actively
he's like,
dying. Damn, he looks good." I hope that I
"Mm,
hope that I'm that thirsty if I'm ever on the brink of death and someone cute saves me.
if you're going, at least you're going with, a a, a picturesque surrounding."
Yeah. If I'm on my deathbed, will you just hold a picture of Kingfisher over me
Yeah.
before I die, Alyssa?
Yes.
You should make me
I
these
got
serious
you.
promises
And then after you recover from it miraculously and you have
with
amnesia,
amnesia.
I'll deliver you the books in a certain order.
Yes.
Yes. Done.
I can't. That's awesome. So that's the end of chapter 18. There's a lot that happened in that,
It's a
right?
lot.
Yeah. So she's like out. She's done. So chapter 19, bones and all. She's in a fever dream, right? Because the
Mhm.
poison in her, the feeder scratched her. So she's like there are waves of them. And there are women and children, old men. And here's where I found something interesting as well. That and again, I don't know if this is true or not. So she gets very specific about her dream. Is it because of the poison, or was it like more of a vision? She said, "I dreamed of death and liquid fire." Is the liquid fire from the poison from the feeders because it hurts so bad, or it in book 2 will Saeris have sort of like some sort of seeing gift such as Kingfisher's mother did? So there
Oh,
used to be dragons way back in the day. Again,
right.
please, all of our listeners, all 12 of them, please listen to read the bonus chapters so you guys can all be on the same page with me. Because in the bonus chapters, there used to be dragons. They slayed them all. No, they didn't. I know
Mhm.
they didn't. I know they didn't. Is she having some sort of like premonition? This might be a hot take. I might be way to the left. I don't know. And in my episode of bonus chapters, when we cover it, I think that there will be dragons, many of them in Brimstone. I don't think that they're all dead. I
I
think
do
the
feel like
literally the word brimstone tells us
anytime dragons are mentioned in a series like this, like, oh, there used to be dragons.
there's
When the
always
dragons
dragons.
existed, there's always dragons.
They always come
There
back.
will be dragons. Yeah, I would agree with that. I will say when I first listened, I did think it was just like a fever dream, but I didn't have as much knowledge.
Mhm. Yeah, for
So
sure.
like re picking it apart, I think it could be, like a, a clue to her having some kind of seeing gift.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
And are they going to be
I don't
what was
think you
that?
would see it. I don't think you would see it on your first read through or think
Mhm.
of it that way.
Yeah, cuz you reach through that part pretty quickly. You're like, "Okay, she's good.
Mhm.
She's dying. She's having a dream. Like she's going to come back to life, right? She's not dead." That's like our
Mhm.
worry. But yeah, I think when you're re-looking into it, you're like, "What the heck does that mean?" Right?
Right.
So I think there's going to be dragons. Are they going to be dragons or are they going to be like more of like a wyvern, right? Because I know that some series will have like the dragon is like a foot, leg, and then there's
Mhm.
like wings on the back, and then you have the waver, which is like the wings connected to the front arms. So
It'll be interesting.
also on Netflix, when you make Brimstone into a TV show as well, please make sure they look like dragons and not wyverns. I would
I
like
didn't
that
know you
noted.
were so opinionated on the subject.
I didn't used to be. Someone pointed it out to me one day, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna back that. Like there's like
Why?
lots of TV shows where it says dragons, but they're actually not dragons. They're wyverns.
Well, that's just how the author wrote those dragons.
Did they though,
Why
or did
can't why
Netflix
can't they be both?
call
I
them
don't know.
Wagons?
Yeah. I'm getting too far into a subject that I'm not uh authorized to speak on.
No, go pop off, Alyssa. We can argue, but I love it. Tell
I
me your
don't know.
thoughts.
Can't they write them however they want?
That's
It's not all
true.
the
I mean,
same
yeah,
world.
that's true. You're
I
right.
could write a book tomorrow and my dragon's wings could be attached.
Hmm.
And I could call them dragons if I wanted to,
Call them dragons. In Alyssa's
right?
book, in Alyssa's fantasy land, all the
I
dragons look
could
like
call them
wyverns
whatever I
on
want to call
purpose.
them.
They
Yeah,
all wear
on
shoes.
purpose. Yeah,
It's your book, Alyssa.
sure.
You
And
right.
socks.
Okay.
We'll see.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so girl wakes up, right? She goes to the fever dream. She's out. She wakes up and she's like, "There's mint in the air. What the fuck is that?"
Mhm.
It is Kingfisher scent. Somebody, please sell me a goddamn candle that smells like this man.
Okay, this was my note. You've seen the candles though, like the resand candles,
Yes.
and it's like it smells like citrus and
Mm-hmm.
the ocean and sand or whatever.
Yeah, like there's some for Rowan as well. Like
Yes. Are there
pine.
kingfisher candles out there?
I hope so. I want there to be. If there's not, somebody please make one.
Have we Googled this?
No, I probably should.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna look it up. Someone send
I'm
it to
gonna look
me.
it up.
I'll buy it.
I'll look it
I'll
up.
buy it and sponsor it. I'll
You
put it
keep
on this
going and
podcast.
I'll tell you.
I'll put it back
In
on
a
that shelf
second.
behind me and light it every time.
Every time.
Yep.
Kingfisher
You get a shout
candle.
out every episode.
Here's one. Book boyfriend candles.
Oh, okay. Do they have a
Kingfisher from
Kingfisher one?
Quicksilver. Uh-huh.
Mint.
This one doesn't say anything about mint, so
Oh,
it's not
hmm.
correct.
Not for us. Not that one. Maybe a different one.
Yeah, there's many listings, so we'll find one that is okay.
I need a mint candle. Mint and smoke. How they put that stuff into a candle, I don't
Um,
know, but good for them.
this one doesn't either. Okay, these people never read the book. I'll find us one.
Fakers. Absolute fakers.
I'll put it in the show notes.
If anyone knows of a good candle that smells like Kingfisher, please tag us in the notes.
I'll
Tag us
find
on the
one.
internet, on our social
I'll
medias, and I'll buy
I'll
it.
find one. We'll
Can
stitch
we
it
light it
for
at lunch?
TikTok too. Yeah, sure. Why
I'll bring
not?
it to work.
Okay,
I'll buy 10 of them.
great.
One for every house that we have. All the houses. I'm going to everyone's house. Light it
Yeah,
at work
I love it.
on a stressful day. Be fine.
Yeah, it might
I'm going to get
help.
me a candle. So they mentioned that, so we thought that she was going to die, right? The healers took care of her and they have the best healers, like even better than the Winter Palace, which I feel like makes sense because it is closer to the war camp. So they need healers that are better down there
Right.
rather than like at the Winter Palace where not really a lot of people get hurt or are in danger very often. So
Mhm.
I thought that that made sense.
Yeah.
Her wounds are healed on the outside, but she still has poison in her body. So Kingfisher reminded her that she almost died just from a scratch and that humans are super fragile. Kind of rude, but okay. And then he commands her to stay in bed until she is fully healed. He's like, you're not getting out of this bed until you're done. Right. This
Doesn't turn
turned
me
out to
off.
be over
I'd be done.
5 fucking days.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. If
She
I
didn't have
have
a
to stay in
choice.
bed for one day, I'm angry.
Yeah.
I
She's
am
like, I feel
not,
fine.
no, I am not like a bed rotter. That's not for me. I cannot. I wake up
Poor
in the
girl.
morning and I'm like, I'm getting out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I would be
Yeah.
done. After this, I would
I'm
be like,
like,
I'm going back to the Forge, man. Like, I'll be there. I'm working on that stuff. You
but you literally
I'll
can't.
see you later.
Under oath.
Well, after
Commanded.
5 days. after it was over, I would be so angry. I'd be like, I'm going back to the forge.
And that's what she did, right? Like, so as soon as it's
Mhm.
clear, she's like, "I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go." And I don't blame her,
Yeah.
right? And
No.
I thought this was interesting because she's like, "I can heal in my own bed." And then she thinks about it. She's like, "I don't really have like a bed. I just have a room that I share with fucking Carrie and Swift."
Mhm.
And she's like, "I'm not doing that." I
Of
get that.
course.
I would
Yeah.
also not want that
Sure.
because then he's like, right? And it's very fair. But he's also in there asking a bunch of questions anyways. And she's like, "Get out."
Mhm.
So
I
before
oh,
Kingfisher leaves, she realizes in that moment, she's like, "Holy," she's like trying to get up because he's like, "You can go to the bathroom and relieve yourself and you can stay in bed. Like those are the two things that you get to do until I return, like until you're healed."
mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he leaves and she's trying to get up and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm paralyzed. Oh no, what's happening?" And then she's like, "Oh, actually, JK, I am under oath. I have now been commanded to
Yes.
stay in this bed and to relieve myself," she says. So can you imagine being on the edge of death, coming
No.
back, and then thinking you are paralyzed? And then just
No.
remembering being like, "Oh no, actually I made a deal with an asshole."
No.
Be
Absolutely
terrible.
not. Also, I love Carrion.
Oh,
I
same.
think he's great.
Yes.
Um, and reading through the book, I was like, do I love him more than most people? But by the end, I was like, oh no, I think everyone's supposed to love him this much.
Yeah, I think by the end, everyone is supposed to love him. I feel like I did. I feel like I liked him sooner than I probably like should have. And
I
like
agree.
Cass did not. Right? She's like, no. In the beginning, like absolutely not. She's like, what's the point of this character? She even texted me. She's like, what's the point of this character? And I was like, you got to finish the book
No.
and then you'll know.
Yeah. I, my husband just started reading this book and I cannot wait to hear his thoughts on Ren and Carrion
Hmm.
and Archer because I feel like
Yep.
all three of those characters were like written for him. Like those are the kind of characters that he always loves.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited because I mean, I was like on a run and listening and Carrion, I can't remember which line it was, but like said something and I was like actually laughing out loud on my run
Yep.
at some of his like
He's
moments.
hilarious.
So, oh yeah,
He's an iconic character.
I agree.
If we lose him, I'll be really sad.
I will be too.
I don't
Would
know if
you
I would be able to
rather
handle that.
lose Ren or Carrion?
Mhm. Yeah,
Which one?
no thank
If you
you.
had to pick,
Hmm.
I think it would be easier
Ooh. I don't
to
know.
lose Carrion,
Yeah.
but I, as a reader, would miss him so
Mhm.
much because
Oh,
he
for
really
sure.
like rounds out a lot of the moments and he's
Mhm.
that comedic relief that is just so good.
Yeah, he is comedic relief, and I would agree with that. I am emotionally connected to Renfis,
Yeah,
so I think that
as
would
you
hurt
should
me
be.
more. I think if Karen died, I
Hmm.
would be like, "What the fuck?" But if Ren died,
Right.
I would be like, "Absolutely not."
Right. Like, how
No.
will any of them continue?
Right. Who's gonna go
Hmm.
on?
Hmm.
But maybe by the second book, like maybe we'll feel differently about Carrion right now that we know who he really like what his past really is. I think we're going to get more information
Hmm.
on that and I think we're going to see a deeper side of Carrion rather than just this like funny go lucky dude who's like skidded his way through life.
I almost want to say too, will Ren not matter as much? Like that's not what I mean, but
Mhm.
with Kingfisher having Saeris now, and now she is such an important rock in his life,
Mhm.
is he able to survive losing Ren? Because I feel like before Saeris, the answer would be no.
Right.
But now
Maybe.
with her in his life, maybe, like you said, as a reader, emotionally devastating, but
Mhm. Maybe it would depend on
something to
how he
think about.
dies.
That's true.
Like is he murdered or does he die via dragon? I don't know. Maybe.
Depends on
We'll
the
just have
type of dragon.
yeah, it depends on the dragon. Depends on the death. Maybe I think he'd handle each one of them differently.
Sure.
So she's under oath. She's stuck in there, right? He left to Anir. He went to the war camp. He was gone for 2 weeks, by the way. He was gone for a really long time. So even like after she eventually got out of this bed finally. So he says, You can get out of bed to relieve yourself, and then you're back in. That's it. He does not tell her she can bathe.
Yeah.
I don't think she took a bath.
But she's not used to bathing.
True, but like, ugh, I didn't like that.
Yeah. I just like Carrion smelled like her, and that was months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So gross.
They don't bathe over there. There's no water. What are they gonna do?
Right.
Save up their 6 ounces every day for 3 months
And not drink anything. Right.
and not drink? Yeah, then die of dehydration before they're done. Yeah, it just
But
wouldn't work.
for her in those 5 days, I don't think it would affect her.
She was like, whatever, like this is normal. She's
Yeah.
still probably cleaner than she was over
Oh, for sure.
in
She probably
Sylvarin.
didn't think twice about it.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I'm still so clean. Maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting that he wasn't like, oh, and you can take a bath.
Yeah.
So Onyx stayed with her quite a bit of time during this. Part of me thinks that because Onyx loves Saeris and he's like, her pet or whatever. Part of me also thinks that Kingfisher asked Onyx to and was like, hey, keep an eye out on her, please.
Onyx, now that you
Special,
have
special
said, yeah,
fox.
now that you have pointed it out, I'm like, this thing is not just a fox. You
Nope,
can't
sure
have a
isn't.
you can't be like, hey, fox,
Mm-hmm.
go hang out with her, please.
Exactly. But it literally leaves to go find food for a little bit and then it's back. And it hangs out with her almost the whole time.
Hmm. It
Very
is
important fox.
interesting.
He's special. It's going to happen. Next book.
We'll see.
So each day Taylena came to check on her. Like that's one of the healers that's there. And
Hmm.
she gave her books when she was there. She was like,
Hmm.
hey, like you can't get out of bed yet. There's still poison there, but there's books.
Yeah.
Bet you a smut. Guaranteed.
Is this Nesta
It,
coded?
yes. Always. Look at always Nesta
Ah!
coded. Everything in my life. But yes, I think they give her smut. Saeris is not going to read history. They tried to teach her history and she was like, no, I don't want to learn that. Right? Give her a good old fantasy book. So as she's doing it, Carrion visits her, right? Because like she's like, hey, I don't want to stay in that bedroom. I want to stay in this one because then I don't have to be with Carrion. But he asks a bunch of questions. Why didn't it tell us the questions? What does Carrion finally want to know many days in after he's like chilling out?
I also thought this.
What are the
Maybe
questions?
maybe he was meant to have a bonus chapter.
Maybe. I want a Carrion point of view. I want to see what's going on in that brain.
That would be great. I
It would
would
be
love
so
that.
good.
Hmm.
It'd be amazing. So yeah, and she's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, get away from me. Can you imagine? Stuck in bed. Carrion's just yapping away. And she's like, please go away. I can't
You
leave.
literally, yeah, you can't do anything about it.
Yep. And so during this, Onyx growls at Carrion because Onyx is more than a fox, and Onyx knows. And Carrion had bad vibes. He was like, get away, go on, get out of here.
Uh-huh.
It's such a good fox. So Carrion also mentioned he's like, we could like revenge fuck on Kingfisher's bed. R.I.P. Carrion Swift. And he's like, I think he'll never know. Like, bro, you're literally Fae. You're
Oh, he
literally
knows.
you have this set. You're literally a Fae. What
Yeah.
the fuck do you mean? He'll never know. Insert TikTok meme here. How will they know? They'll never
How will they
know.
know?
They're gonna
They'll never
know.
know.
But also, Carrion has no fear. Dude is
Oh no.
brazen. He's
Yes.
so brazen. He's not scared of Kingfisher in any way, shape, or form. He's like the one person on the planet. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The
He's
dude
special.
could
Something
literally like
special.
rip your head off, and you're like,
Hmm.
man, you know what we should do?
Revenge fuck on his bed. Yee.
I can't.
He'll never know. It's so
Uh,
stupid. And she's like, you have no charm. Like she tells him, she's like, you have no charm. He has so much charm. Carrion does.
mhm. I agree. It's just not her
And
type.
no, and Saris cannot give him an inch because if she gives him even a sliver, he will go
Hmm.
wild with it, right?
Yep.
All she has to do is be like, yeah, you have charm. And he's going to be like, bah, and he's going to go off it for like days and years, right?
Yes.
But that's a way that he has gotten through life for so long is because of his
Oh yeah.
charm and his wit and his words.
Hmm. Hmm.
If he didn't have that, he'd
That
be
it,
dead.
yeah, that is him.
Hmm.
Even even at the end of the book, that's how he's getting by.
Yep, exactly. Like, he for sure has charm. That is a truth when he says that. And so
But
also he has new boots.
he does have new boots.
He has new boots.
Finally. He has
Yay.
more than one boot.
And she's like, "How the hell did you get those boots? Like, you were barefoot earlier. What happened?" And he's like, "Oh,
Hmm.
Kingfisher gave them to me." And she's like, "He did? Like, he gave you these boots?" He was like, "Yeah, on one condition. Had to take a bath." Because he didn't like the way he smelled. So he's like, "Yeah, I brought the water sprites out there and they put clay all over me and used a bunch of moss."
Yeah. And then he's like,
Okay.
they literally scrubbed my skin until it was pink.
Yep. He's like, "It's so weird. They focused on like a really special area." And I thought it was so funny that the reasoning went right over Carrion's head. He's like, "Oh, it's so
Now,
weird. I had to take a
but
bath."
now knowing all of this, did it go over his head? Or was he just like playing dumb,
I don't know. Maybe.
thinking that Saeris didn't know?
Hmm. Carrion point POV. Need it. Need to know. Need to know
Yeah.
real thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looked like it went over his head. He was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's super weird. Like, he asked me to take a bath of all things."
Yeah.
Hmm. I would like to know.
I would too.
And Saris does call him out for fucking around with the water sprites. He's like, you've been here like a minute and you already had to force someone with 4 water sprites. Like,
Mhm.
what? And then this is where Carrion also finally acknowledged the amount of water. He's like, "Man, can you believe like all this water's around here?" Do we think that he did this to keep up impressions, or do we think that
Yes.
because he has generally been without water for a long time, he meant it? But then why not say it in the beginning?
I think in the beginning, he woke up and he was like, oh crap, like what the where am I? Like what
Yeah.
kind of like putting all the pieces together,
Hmm.
probably retrospectively was like, there's a pitcher of water and I didn't even have a drink of it. Like
Right.
I didn't freak out about it. I that is a red flag.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
almost like a like a wow, there's a lot of water around here, right? Like a, you know, reactive after the moment being like, I
Hmm.
need to backpedal on this a little bit to keep up my image.
Oh, okay. So you think it was like maybe a little bit of both,
Yeah.
or are you saying like he knew the whole time?
I I don't think it was because he's been without water for so long. I think it was more of a like to keep up this mirage of who he is. I think
Hmm.
that's the comment on the water thing.
Yeah. Like, how long can a fae go without water versus a human?
That's true too. I don't know.
I that's a good question. Like, I'd like to know that. Like, 'cause does 6 ounces last him hydration wise a lot longer than it would her? And
Hmm.
then my thing is like when Saris first got there, she was offered a glass of water and she was like, "Oh, what the hell?" Right? Like, no one offered him a glass. So is it just like, "Oh, that's water. It's not mine though." But
That's
she was like,
interesting.
"You're trying to give me this water and I'm gonna have to pay for it, but I'm gonna drink it so fast that you like can't charge me."
Right. It's just very different. She was
Hmm.
literally like guzzling water and they were like, hey, hey, you got to slow down. Like you're going to be sick.
Right.
It is interesting.
Keeping up appearances then is what we think.
That's what I think.
Um, so as they're talking and he's like, "Man, there's so much water around here." And he was like, "Oh yeah, like by the way, you're good to go after you eat your breakfast." And she's like, "Hold on. You've been here for so long, just
Hmm.
yapping away,
Hmm.
and I could be out of bed now?" How inconsiderate.
I love
Like,
that.
what a jerk.
I loved that.
So funny, but so mean. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the
Yeah.
way."
I mean, it's as mean as making someone do an oath to stay in
That's
bed and
true.
not take a bath for 5 days.
I wonder if Carrion is a bed rotter. He's like, 5 days, no big deal. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
get up
think he would
whenever.
be.
He's
Yeah.
like, maybe he likes to lay in bed and hang out.
Yeah. I think,
He
yeah,
would binge watch TV if he was
he sure
in
would.
real life. He'd binge watch like reality shows,
Yeah.
The Real Housewives.
Yes.
I think he would like them.
Love
So she finally
Island.
gets back into the forge, right?
Mhm.
So she's like trying her trials again. She's right back at it. And so she like is mixing hair with it, right? And she's like, "I put golden human hair in here." And the Quicksilver hissed at her in a different tongue, like a different language.
Mhm.
which I thought was wild because that's the only time in the whole book that it's in a different language. So did that reaction physically cause it pain? And it was like,
Was
"Oh,
it
fuck."
just that specific Quicksilver that would
Right?
have
Like, was
had
it a
that
new bead of
reaction?
Quicksilver?
Mhm.
Or was it the same Quicksilver that she's been using? The tiny one, right? I don't know. But I
Or
thought
is
that was
it because
interesting that
it's
it literally
is it because it's
or was that
human
just
hair?
Callie's way of saying, like, "It cussed at me"?
Yeah.
Like, are we thinking too much into that?
That's kind
And
of how
then
I interpret it, as just like a swear.
mhm, okay. Or was it and then my other thought was, like, was it such a reaction because it was her hair, an alchemist hair? Did that react differently than a regular human hair versus, like, a fae hair?
That's true.
And it doesn't really give us, like, a lot of context on that. I just thought or was it just so was a Quicksilver just so offended that it was like, "I literally can't fucking believe that you thought a piece of hair would work. We've been here for, like, weeks, boo. You still not getting it." Was it just so offended that it
Maybe.
was, like, literally
Yeah,
speaking
maybe.
a different language to her,
That's true.
right? So then she used, like she tried, like, burned wood, and it literally it laughs at her.
Mhm.
It has no importance. I just thought that was hilarious. It was just like, "Ha ha. Good try." But it's not telling her. It can talk to her. It can tell her.
Yeah.
It can laugh at her, it can yell at her, it can cuss at her, but it's not like, "Hey, let's just make a bargain."
But if it's lonely and it told her, would she just then be
Do it
done
and
with
move
it?
on. Right.
Yeah. And then
Which
it
is why I
would
think
get
it's
nothing.
selfish.
I would agree with that there for sure.
Mhm.
Because think about it, like if from the beginning it was like, "Hey, follow these steps and you can make your relic."
Then it's gone. Then the conversation's over and it's lonely once again. But then I also question, is it lonely once it's forged with something? Or is it now feeling
I mean, I don't think
content
so
because it's
because
a part of something?
think think about the Quicksilver in Kingfisher and it's like, "I am him." I don't know
Right.
that Quicksilver is lonely.
Mhm.
Selfish,
Hmm.
yes. Lonely? I don't think so, because it
Because it
has
has
him.
right, it has him to talk to.
So it is
Hmm.
interesting to think if it is forged, bonded with something else, is it then
Mhm.
satisfied? Like, yes, still selfish, sure. But is it satisfied then?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe it depends on the Quicksilver as well, right? Maybe some are
Hmm.
less lonely than others.
Hmm.
Interesting. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
So again, we know that she does 3 experiments a day, which is all that she
Mhm.
like has time for. And every time she does an experiment, she loses a little bit of the silver because she has to again keep refining it. Not the quicksilver, but
Yes.
the actual silver itself.
Hmm.
So I just as she's going through each time, she's like getting more stressed because she's losing more and more and more. And then as she's like trying to close up for the day, hanging out over there, Ren comes in and scares the shit out of her because he's climbing the wall. And she's like, "Oh my God, it's a feeder. Oh no, what's happening?" And she's like, "What is happening?" But like, good on Ren, right? Because she's like, how dare you scare me like that?" And he's like, "Oh, I just thought it would be easier." Bro is tired. He works smarter, not harder. You climb that wall, Renfis. She needs to be more aware
Yeah.
of her surroundings. He can do no wrong. He just wanted to get to there faster. He had a long day, right? And then she's like, she notices more blood on him and seems surprised. But like, should she be? It's
No.
not the first time he
At
showed up
this,
with blood like that.
yeah, at
So
this
again,
point, no. Like you
she's
said,
like,
it's
"Why are you
his
so bloody?"
job. That's his job.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe she's just like scared that something's gonna happen, like something's coming her way. Maybe I don't know. I just thought that
Yeah,
was
I
interesting. She's
don't.
like surprised again,
Hmm.
and he's like, "No, no, no. Like we're good. Like sorry, I forgot that I was covered in blood. It's okay, Ren. You're fine. She'll be all right."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally the best. Uh, so we know that Kingfisher is back at this point in time, right? Like he's back. He's been gone like 2 weeks, and he wants her for dinner. And he's like, hey, like you're invited to dinner. And she's like, oh, am I invited or am I demanded to come to dinner? And he's like, oh, well, kind of demanded, but I'm going to invite you
Kind of
anyways in
have
the
to
nice
be
way.
there. Yeah.
And she's like, well, are you coming to dinner? She's like, are you going to be there this time? And Ren looks down at his dirt rimmed fingernails, a small smile playing over his mouth. No, I do normally eat with Fisher, but I wasn't invited this evening. And she says, I narrowed my eyes to slits. Do you know what I imagined? Snake face.
There it is, snake face.
There it is. For the
I love snake face.
you gotta tell him. Should you tell him or should I tell him?
You do. Tell
So
you.
I have a problem hiding the emotions on my face. I'm working on it.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, you see everything that I'm thinking as people are speaking, whether or not they're speaking to me or not. And so I, mostly at work, I do what I call the snake face because there's a meme of a green snake and he looks like this.
Mhm.
And I make that face at a lot of people every single day. We're gonna post the meme in the show notes. You can click on it
Oh,
and
for
look.
sure.
Can
Yeah.
we like post a little picture of it in the side?
Yes, I will.
Snake face.
I When you're reading or listening to a book and it talks about the facial expressions they make, do you make them?
I feel really called out right now. I
No,
thought
because
I
I
was the
do.
only one. I do it in the
No, I
car.
in the car. Yeah. So it's
Mhm.
like I narrowed my eyes to slits and you're immediately
Like,
like,
yeah. Or like I looked around at my surroundings and I'm like,
yes.
yes.
Hmm.
I thought it was just me.
Nah, nah. I do it too.
That's hilarious. I rolled my
Hmm.
eyes. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
I don't need to roll my eyes. I'm fine.
Yep. I do that too.
That's hilarious. Yeah, when they
Yep.
said snake face, I made that face reading it. I was like, hey, I know that face. I make that face
Funny.
all the time. See, I am the the FMC.
Yep. You're just getting into character.
Yes, exactly. And then she's like, all right, bro, well, you're coming to dinner then. If I have to go, you have to go. And he's like,
Yep.
oh, okay. And I don't really think that's like a good idea. She's like, well, you're going to be there. And so then she's like, well, like, where is he at? He's like, oh, she's like, where is Kingfisher? Well, he's with Helena. And she's like, oh my gosh, is he okay? And he's like, oh yeah, he's fine. He didn't get hurt or nothing. He's just with Helena. Ren, buddy, you know better.
Read the room.
Read the room. And she's like, what do you mean he's with Helena? So I, in this moment, was like, no. I also felt jealous for a minute, right? Because we don't know who she is, right? I was like, who's Helena?
Right.
Golden, beautiful lady
Yeah.
with like amber eyes, a healer.
Hmm.
Yeah. So at first I was like, Kingfisher, why are you with Helena? Not that Saeris has any claim to him at this point in time, right?
Right.
Still though, I as once in my life being a teenage girl have also felt embarrassment and jealousy. I
Yes.
get it. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, that's a bad feeling.
Well, and at this point, you know that she's invested. Like, you
Yes.
know that she has feelings about him,
Mhm.
especially after the last dinner. So I
Yes.
think, like, naturally, the jealousy there and everything, like, you're
Mhm.
supposed to relate.
Right. Well, and he's never been like, "Hey, like you're beautiful," or like, "Hey, like I like you."
Mhm.
Like he's just an asshole
Right.
to her,
Right.
right? He's like playing hard to get.
Right.
So she's like, "Oh no, like now he's mean to me." And then like all of a sudden he's with this other girl. Like what's happening with that, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that she was fair to feel that way.
Yeah.
So then Saris brings up that Nimril is alive, even though again the god swords are dead, kind of like we talked about in the last episode. Ren's like, I don't know why. Like, but even though Nimril has blackened and tarnished over the years, Nimril has stayed. The spirit of that sword or the magic inside it, whatever you choose to believe it is, has stayed no matter what. It never left him. When you read the bonus chapters, your heart will literally break. It's gonna be
Right.
broken. It will
Can't
crack
wait.
right in half, as mine did. The first time you read this,
Uh,
you're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah. We don't know why the sword is just that way.
right. Great.
It's so I can't. It's so bad. I'm going to send you
Can't wait.
that paragraph today. I
Okay.
need you to know why this moment right here is so iconic and so sad.
Okay.
If you have read the bonus chapters, put in the comments what you thought. Let me know your feelings. So then they go to dinner, right? Kingfisher is pissed, right? He's like,
Oh yeah.
why are there others at this meeting we're having? And she's like, this is dinner, bro. It's not a meeting. And I don't want to be alone with you because you're an asshole. Like, she's
Yes.
like, I couldn't do this again. So while at dinner, Ren sits to Kingfisher's left and Sarah sits again to his right. Ren almost spits his wine out of his mouth when he sees where she sits. He even offers her a seat. He's like, oh, come sit over here next to me. And then Carrion proceeds to sit there instead. Right? He's like, hey, like I could sit there. And Kingfisher's like, try it and die. Can you Carrion has no idea, right? Can you imagine the real anger that Kingfisher felt when Carrion was like, I'll sit there. And he's like, don't you fucking dare.
Would Carrion have no idea?
I guess I don't know, maybe. I don't think he would have offered if he knew. I think he would have made a
Or
joke
was
about it.
or was it a joke?
Maybe.
Wouldn't wouldn't he have known?
Are the rules the same in every castle?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Right? Like in some fantasies, like queen is over here, king is over here, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just this realm, this household where the queen sits on the right-hand side of the king.
Or is it a
Or like
joke? Is he like, I'll sit there? And they're
oh,
all,
maybe he did know the whole time and he also didn't tell her. You know what? And shame on these men.
oh
Shame
yeah.
on them for not
Mm-hmm.
educating her what the fuck they're all freaking out about.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on them.
Yeah.
But also,
Like it's not her fault.
no, it's not her fault. And then
Yeah.
if it's not a joke, right? When he was like, "Hey, I'll sit there." I think Kingfisher maybe felt some jealousy for a
Oh,
moment,
yeah.
which he probably hasn't felt in a long time. And then I also wonder, is there a pheromone / what does the pheromone smell like when a fae is jealous? I don't know. I wonder if there even is a pheromone.
I don't know. Interesting.
I would like to know that answer.
And then they'd all be like,
Okay.
ooh, he's jealous.
Yeah, he's jealous. Oh my gosh, look at him.
Look at him in a green shirt being jealous. I
In
don't
his
remember. Was he
green
wearing
shirt.
is he wearing green this one? I don't remember. I feel like
It
talked
doesn't
about it.
say. It doesn't say. It just
Yeah,
says the green in the first one, but I mean, I would say it's safe to assume he is dressed nice once more because he did last
probably.
time.
Yeah.
I think maybe he regrets it now because there are other people at this meeting that they are in,
Yeah.
but who
Yeah.
knows? I don't know. But
Yeah.
there's like jealousy like radiating off of him. But again, shame on them because no one told her what was happening. Literally one sentence. That's where the woman of the house sits. One sentence, 2 seconds.
Mhm.
No one told her. Jerks.
Right. Right.
And then what do we think when Ren was thinking that Kingfisher approved Saeris to sit in that seat? Like it tells us that Ren was looking at him, but like what do we think he was thinking?
I mean, I interpret it as at this point, Ren realizes that she is important to him in more than just a you're a tool for me.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I interpreted it. And
Mhm.
obviously, like whatever is going in the air, he is smelling. But like, I thought like at this point, he was like, oh, like you care about her.
Mhm.
Because if he didn't care about her, he would have been like, get out of that seat.
Right, exactly. You're like you can't sit there.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. So you think Ren was like, yeah, this is a good sign. Good
Yeah,
things.
that's what I
And I
thought.
think maybe he was happy for his friend, right? Like
Mhm.
thank goodness Kingfisher's caring about something again because it's been a long
Right.
time.
Yeah, and he is worried about him and how he is affected by the Quicksilver and what his character is turning into. So,
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, maybe a little bit relieved, maybe a little bit happy.
Mhm. That's fair. Yeah. They also talk about like so they mention like the water rations. So like Carrion mentions the water rations at the dinner table. And he mentions that they used to fight over them in the pit, like back at home. And I literally cringed when Kingfisher was like, who would fight over something as like so stupid and petty like water?
Yeah.
Ouch.
I know.
And she's like, well, wonder what he would say if he knew that I did the same thing. Hindsight's 2020 for him, but like, ugh. I wonder if that
Yeah.
comment eats him up at night.
Yeah, not his best moment.
No, definitely, we don't say those things. Like 6 ounces a day. So again, Kingfisher really, really wants her to eat at this dinner. He even politely asks her, he's like, hey, like, please eat. And she's like, I'm not hungry. And he's like, well, you sure are, because we can hear it. Like, I can hear all the things.
Yeah.
And during this dinner, the entire dinner is full of sexual tension. And Carrion tries so hard to change these subjects all the time.
Yes.
And it was interesting to me because usually Carrion is like all for making fun of her and making her uncomfortable. And he's also not scared of Kingfisher.
Right.
But he was like, how's the weather? What about swords? I will train with you guys. Like anything to get the conversation pivoting back to a comfortable thing. Like it's interesting to see Carrion uncomfortable.
It also isn't about him though. Like I feel like
That's
he's
true.
comfortable in it when it's about him.
Mm-hmm.
And like if the sexual tension is there, he's comfortable when he's involved. But he's just kind of a bystander here. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
just
Right.
invited to this dinner and now he's just sitting in it.
And he's like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do mention training, right? And Karen's like, I'm going to train with you guys. And she's like, and Sarah says, like, I will also be there training with you guys. And then fucking Fisher, it's like, she gets a training sword. And she's like, what the hell? Did Carrion? Why not give a training sword to Carrion? I can see Kingfisher having less faith in Carrion than
I
Saeris.
have less faith in Carrion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give Carrion a training sword.
Yes.
If one gets one, they both get one, right? Have a little faith in both of them.
Yes.
Because they're both technically humans, right? In the moment. I don't know. Kingfisher tries to bring Renan on the sexual tension, though, during this, and he's like, absolutely not. I'm not getting involved in this.
Yeah.
And he was honest. He's like, I'm not getting in whatever this weird ass scenario is. And then he's like, let's train more, right? And so during this, Kingfisher is now voice casting once more, right up in her ear, right? Full of dirty words. And he wants her to eat so badly during this dinner that he makes her a plate, right? And then he bribes her. She's like, hey, I have some questions. And he's like, hey, you eat some food, you can get some questions answered. If Kingfisher offered to feed me, yes, please. What a missed opportunity for her.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm a food girl. Maybe food is my love language. I get that. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not hers. Maybe water is. Maybe he should offer her a drink of water because she's
I'll
so
get you a
super fucking thirsty.
Benny.
I can't. But I read that and I was like, let him feed you. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but in front of those people.
I know. And when I really think about it, I'd probably be embarrassed. But like when I'm on the outside looking in, though, I'm like, let him feed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pick up the
As you
fork.
as I think you're supposed to feel.
Probably. You're probably right. So things are getting hot as hell in this freaking room, right? He's still pushing it. He still makes her super uncomfortable. And I cannot even imagine the smell of that room that Ren and Carrion have to sit in. Because they realize it at the same time because she's like turning red, right? She's got this super red face. She's blushing everywhere. And also, Kingfisher probably also is letting off some pheromones as well,
Oh, for sure.
you know? And they both realize at the same time, like Carrion and Ren. I would like AI, Chat GPT, I don't know, whatever you do. I want an iconic scene recreation of this moment of their faces when they both realize what the fuck is happening.
It's
Because they
just the
can't hear
big
what they're
side
saying.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, oh my God, what's
Yeah.
happening? And
Yeah.
she's like, this whole time, she's like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, dude. Please shut your mouth. Like, just stop talking. And he's like,
Yeah.
meh, 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 meh. Like, let me do all these things. And she's like, please shut up. And then he's like, she's like, bro, please shut the fuck up. And Kingfisher so casually is like, eat, babe. We're leaving tomorrow to the war camp and you're coming with us.
I can't.
This poor girl. Just getting her ass kicked mentally right now. And he's like, better eat because we gotta go.
No. Yeah.
And then he makes the iconic face again,
Yes.
the eyebrow raise.
Yes.
I can't. So funny. And that is the end of chapter 19. Can't get enough of the Goodish Girls? Follow us on social media for sneak peeks at our upcoming episodes and bonus content.